Canada and the United States, two neighbors, two democracies, and two economies that are deeply connected. But how deep does that connection really go? Is it a partnership of equals or a one-sided dependency? This is Canada and the USA's relationship explained on VNN. Let's go back in time. Canada and the U.S. weren't always on friendly terms. In fact, during the American Revolutionary War, the U.S. invaded parts of British North America. Later, during the War of 1812, Canada, still under British control, pushed back. But by the mid-1800s, a different path was forming. The two countries settled the longest undefended border in the world, now stretching over 8,800 kilometers. From that moment on, they built one of the most peaceful bilateral borders in modern history. The 20th century brought tighter bonds. Both fought side by side in World War I and World War II, joined NATO, and stood shoulder to shoulder during the Cold War. Trade agreements began shaping the relationship. First the Auto Pact in 1965, then the Free Trade Agreement in 1989, and later NAFTA in 1994. Today's agreement, CUSMA, known in the U.S. as USMCA, governs more than $2 billion in daily trade. Canada is the U.S.'s largest export market. The U.S. is Canada's largest trading partner. It's economic codependency, but built on mutual benefit most of the time. But even the closest neighbors fight, from the softwood lumber disputes to disagreements over dairy quotas, and now growing tension over electric vehicle subsidies and Buy American policies. The trade friction is real. There's also the issue of defense. While both countries are founding members of NORAD, questions persist about Canada's military spending and contributions. Some in Washington see Canada as relying too much on U.S. security guarantees. And then there's energy. The Keystone XL pipeline cancellation by President Biden hit a nerve in Alberta. Canada felt it was a betrayal. The U.S. called it a climate commitment. On the world stage, Canada and the U.S. often align, but not always. Canada didn't join the Iraq War in 2003. It has a more multilateral approach to diplomacy, often favoring the UN and international consensus. On climate, healthcare, and gun control, Canada tends to lean more progressive. But on defense, intelligence sharing through the Five Eyes Alliance, and economic policy, the two countries often move in lockstep. Their leaders have had mixed chemistry. While Trudeau and Biden maintain a cordial relationship, things were more tense under Trump. Still, the diplomacy has remained steady, institutional, not personal. The U.S.-Canada border isn't just symbolic, it's functional. It governs cross-border families, dual citizens, businesses, and even TV broadcasts. During the COVID-19 pandemic, border closures tested that connection. Economic disruptions hit both sides, yet the countries coordinated vaccine shipments and eventually reopened travel with caution. Migration is another shared challenge. Irregular crossings and asylum seekers have tested agreements like Safe Third Country. In 2023, the deal was updated to prevent loopholes, but critics in both nations continue to debate its fairness and effectiveness. Looking ahead, the Canada-U.S. relationship faces key questions. Will trade tensions escalate or stabilize? Can both countries coordinate on climate, especially around energy transition? And as China, Russia, and global alliances shift, will North American unity deepen or drift? Some believe a North American economic bloc is inevitable. Others warn that political populism in either country could cause rifts. But for now, cooperation, not confrontation, remains the guiding principle. The U.S. and Canada are more than neighbors. They're intertwined economies, partners in defense, and sometimes healthy rivals. But through every disagreement, one thing's clear. This relationship is here to stay. You've been watching Explained on VNN, the show where global headlines actually get explained. Like, follow, and stay tuned for the next deep dive.